Okay, what if I told you that you could take a full day's worth of really hard work and just shrink it down to 5 minutes? Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what happened in Scotland with the Falkirk Wheel. It's this absolutely massive, rotating boat lift that solved an engineering problem people had been struggling with for centuries. So let's get into it and see just how this thing works.
All right, this really gets to the heart of the whole story. On one hand, you have the old way, a grueling, full-day slog through 11 different canal locks. I mean, a whole day. And then you have the new way, one single wheel, doing the exact same job in just 5 minutes. That leap in efficiency is it's staggering. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
So to really appreciate just how genius this solution is, we've got to go back and understand the problem they were facing. For literally centuries, there was this huge obstacle standing in the way of connecting two of Scotland's most important canals, the Forth and Clyde and the Union Canal.
Okay, so here was the issue. A 35-meter height difference between the two canals. That's a big drop. And the original solution? Well, it was this really clumsy staircase of 11 different locks. Trying to get a boat through this whole system was an all-day affair. It created this massive bottleneck for transport. It was just slow, super inefficient, and frankly, a ton of work.
And then, along comes this idea. An idea so bold, so different, it just completely changed the game. This is the revolutionary Falkirk Wheel. The thing that turned that day-long nightmare into a simple 5-minute task.
Let's just put this side by side to see how big of a deal this is. The vertical lift? The same, 35 meters. But that's where the similarities end. The mechanism, the time, they're from different planets. You go from 11 separate, slow, clunky steps to one single, smooth rotation that's all over in 5 minutes. That isn't just an improvement, that is a complete transformation in performance.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth does it work, right? How can a structure this huge, lifting hundreds of tons of water and boats, move so fast and, well, so easily? The secret, and this is the beautiful part, lies in a really simple principle of physics.
I mean, really, this is the central question, isn't it? It just seems impossible. You'd think something this massive would need, I don't know, the power of a freight train just to get it moving. But the reality? Well, it's something else entirely. And the answer is just pure, simple genius.
And here's that secret. Archimedes' principle. Now, you probably remember this from a science class way back when. The idea that a floating object displaces a weight of water that is exactly equal to its own weight. That one little concept, it's the key to this entire incredible machine.
Okay, so here's how it all comes together. The wheel has these two big arms with water-filled tubs. They're called gondolas. And they start with the exact same amount of water, so they're perfectly balanced. Now, a boat comes along and sails into the top gondola. As it does, it pushes out, or displaces, a volume of water that weighs the exact same as the boat itself. And here's the magic trick. The gondola with the boat in it now weighs the exact same as the other gondola that's just full of water. They stay perfectly, and I mean perfectly balanced, every single time. And because they're always perfectly balanced, the motors don't actually have to lift anything. Think about that for a second. That's a total game changer. Instead of using a ton of power to fight against gravity, the design just elegantly sidesteps it. All the motors have to do is give it a little push to overcome some friction and get the wheel turning. So just how little energy are we talking about here? Well, the answer is kind of mind-blowing.
Okay, get this. One full rotation, lifting and lowering hundreds of tons of boats and water, 35 meters, uses just 1.5 kilowatt-hours of energy. Now, I know that's just a number, and on its own, it doesn't mean a whole lot. So let's put that into perspective.
That 1.5 kilowatt-hours, that's about the same amount of energy it takes to boil just 8 household kettles. That's it. You've got all that steel, all that water, actual boats, all moving through the air, powered by the same energy you'd use to make a few cups of tea for your friends. It is an absolute masterclass in using physics to be ridiculously efficient.
But you know, the story of efficiency here, it doesn't just stop with the wheel's rotation. The entire site, the whole project, is built around this core idea of conservation and sustainability. Just think back to that old system for a second, those 11 locks. Every single time a boat went through, huge amounts of water were just lost, flushed away down the canal staircase. The wheel, on the other hand, with its closed, balanced system, it barely wastes any water at all. And that's a massive win for the environment.
And this commitment, it really does spread across the whole facility. I mean, they've earned awards for green tourism. They've swapped out old gas boilers for things like air source heat pumps. They put up solar panels, and they're always trying to get better at recycling their waste. It's a really complete approach to being sustainable.
So when you look at the whole picture, the Falkirk Wheel is so much more than just a boat lift. It's really this powerful symbol, a testament to how intelligent, balanced design can radically improve how things work, all while using way fewer resources. It just proves that we can do some absolutely incredible things when we decide to work with the laws of physics instead of fighting against them.
And that kind of leaves us with a final question to chew on, right? The wheel solved this really complex, old problem, not with more muscle or more power, but with cleverness, with elegant simplicity. So it really makes you wonder, what other big, complex problems in our world today are just sitting there, waiting for their own Falkirk Wheel solution?